Okay, guys. Can you hear me okay? Great. All right. So it's great you guys joining us. And we're going to have our first test. That will be 22nd and 23rd. So hopefully everybody scheduled the meeting already. I mean the tests, right? The sooner is better. Okay. I think for some reason this weekend is very busy according to ProctorU. So you should get appointment as soon as possible. If you're trying to do it last minute, thing is just you have to wait a long time to get your time. So some students complain a lot because just trying to get scheduled, but they couldn't. So it's kind of hectic. You go through all those, hassles. So the sooner is better. Same thing to the second test, third test. You can just schedule it as soon as you can. Okay, much easier for you and everybody else too. All right, so I'm recording this session so that I can give you credits. So let's take a look. The main thing I'm trying to do this session is give you a review for the tests. So the test will be covering modules, the textbook modules 1 and 2. I guess a little bit of module 3, but it's not like a calculation or formulas, just pretty simple skills. Okay, so I'm going to give you example, but again, this main thing is from modules 1, 2. Okay, and let me bring it up. The Go view, just a second. So I assume you guys already seen this tests folder. If you go to Georgia View, there's a tests folder. Then you'll see the ProctorU test 1. Then you have a review. You have a sample questions from previous semesters. So if you look at review for the ProctorU test 1, then there are some important skills that will be appeared, like some basic Excel skills. Of course, those people who didn't have Excel skills, it could be challenging to master all of those. But again, I'm here to help you out. Just like any online environment, a little bit different than face to face. But I have helped so many students, so we can do it on online as well. So if you have any questions, you need help, always let me know. So important skills for modules 1 and 2 are listed. So creating, saving, and deleting, moving the cells from workbook worksheets, right? And font and color, just like almost like a word. So I'm sure you didn't have any problem with those basic skills using toolbars on the menu. And adjust column width, heights, resize, insert, remove columns and rows, right? Inserting new column, inserting new rows. And here comes the some basic functions like sum, average, maximum, which is max, min for maximum, count, counting number of items, date, date related. Actually, date related functions are few. For example, if you type it in equals now, then it'll give you current date and time. Or if you type it in equals today, they'll give you the current date as well. And there's a round function. I think I need to make sure round function is from module 2. Just a second. I think round function is from module 2.
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, so for the roundup, I know that's for the one that's due on like the 21st, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, well, do I put general instead of putting the minutes for the one that's due on the 21st? Like that
Uh,
instead of like time or
which
it's
one you talking about? Which
let me
there are a
I'm
few
go
problems.
it's the one with the claims. Has anybody did that one yet?
Claims, there's the review assignment, right?
No,
No,
no.
she's talking about
Claims is
module 3.
Yeah, that's review assignment module 3. So which cell you talking about?
the roundup. Do I do general or do I do it as time? I don't. I was confused with that one, but I got the
Which
same answer with general.
which worksheets?
Let me go check. It was with claims. It was a 3-2 one, I think.
I know, but
Some.
there's many worksheets. So
Oh, I'm not.
okay. Claims
I'm sorry.
Synolog, claims Synolog worksheets. I guess that's what you're talking about.
Yes, sir. Is yeah. When you
Yeah,
round, do you put
you
it as
don't.
general?
Right, right. Just don't.
Okay.
I don't know what the original data set was set as, but general should work. Yeah,
Okay. That's what I was asking.
right. Yep.
Thank
Well, I
you.
think, yeah, sure, no problem. We sidestep a little bit because she was asking about module 3. I'm sure some of you have a question about module 3. I'm going to take questions from module 3 just a minute, but I want to go over module 1, module 2 first. So going back to skills from modules 1 and 2. So there was round function. Let me confirm again, modules 2. Because sometimes those functions are repeated multiple modules. Just might not be first time coming in. So let me check round. Round function started module 3 actually. Yeah. Module 2 talk about a little bit of rounding numbers, but the main module that appear round function, including round up or round down, that's from module 3. So I don't think we're gonna see round function. Okay, so just like to confirm this. All right, so that was the examples of functions. Then apply built-in cell style. That's under toolbar, cell style, different cell style. We are talking about heading, title, extend 1, extend 2. Those are the cell styles. Okay, that's again is home tab and cell style in the toolbar. And applying different themes. Themes is on the page layout so that you can apply just like a templates with a different color, different fonts and those things. All right, then here comes the, I think one of the important functions in module 2, conditional formatting. Okay, so that you can highlight certain area of your worksheets with the rules and conditions that you're trying to use. Okay, conditional formatting. And entering header and footer. Okay, that's important so that you can enter some details to headers or the footers. And absolute cell reference. That's, I think, is from the module 3, but it's nice to know. Absolute cell reference is just $sign, right? So when you have a formula that you need to enter as an absolute cell reference so that you wanna fix that particular cell area, then you're gonna enter $sign. And also autofill skill. Well, it's hard to test your autofill skills because that's simply using your mouse, right? Just click and scroll down, or you're going right or up so that you can autofill. But I think you're gonna have a question asking creating like a 1,000 uh, or could it be hundreds of those cells using autofill rather than typing in 1,000 times. Okay, so that's the autofill skill in Excel. So those are the some examples that you're going to see. So if you have any questions regarding modules 1 and 2, you can ask anytime. You can stop me. So I'm looking at sample question set 1 now. Okay. So if you have any questions about this, just let me know. But basically, here's what I have. In case you're wondering what output should be look like. Because the sample question set, as the Word document, contains the input that you need to have. Then using this input, then you're going to follow the directions, then you complete each step, then you save it, then you submit it. So that's how the sample question number 1 look like. And let me share my screen. Actually, not that screen. Share my Excel screen. All right. Can you see it?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So this is example of you have income, expenses. If you look at column A, then at the bottom you have number of expenses, just counting, number of items in expenses. And column B through F, that's January to June. In income area, you have a fixed income. Expenses area, you have multiple types of expenses. And you have column G, basically uh, total amount for income. Then on the expenses, you have total rent, total amount for rent, total amount of food. So that's what you have. So you use the sum. Okay. I'm not going through the question one by one, but I'm just, giving you as an overview. So you'll see what I mean. And at the bottom, it's not really bottom, B18, that's number of expenses using count function so that you can count number of cells, which is B7 through B15. All right. Then savings, meaning that whether you have surplus or loss, because you have income and expenses. So which is income minus expenses. Okay, B19 through F19, because that's June. Right, so far so good. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to ask for sure is percent. Okay, well in Excel, well you can do so. You can make it complicated as much you want as long as you get the right answer. But why not make it simple? Okay, all you have to do is finding percent in Excel is just using division. Okay, you don't have to multiply by 100 or anything like that. Okay, you just divide by whatever total. In this case, we're trying to find the percent of this amount, which is rent, out of total expenses. Okay, that's why we are using those two in here. So G7 over G16. So you find percent of rent out of total expenses. So that's what we are doing. As you can see, just subtraction, division, right? So you don't have to multiply by anything. All you do is afterwards, then you just change it to percent style. Then we apply usually 2 decimal places. So using this increase or decrease depending on, okay? So that's how you want to do it rather than adding, more terms, because there's always chance you're going to make a mistake if you're adding more stuff. All right, so percent is important. And I think other than that, no calculations here, okay, in this example. And the other one was asking from the questions using conditional formatting, right? So for example, column G, okay? Let's say you want to highlight the amount greater than $1,000, okay? For column G, then I'm going to highlight. Let's say we're going to do only expenses, okay? We highlight expenses, conditional formatting, highlights, greater than. We had a 1,000, so I'm going to type it in 1,000. Then how are you going to shade in terms of different colors? So you can choose the color or you can customize the color from here. Fill and whatever you color you like. Okay. Right. So that's a one type of conditional formatting, but you can ask different kinds of, because if you look at conditional formatting, you have so many other choices. You can do like a less than, between certain numbers, equal to, text that contains, meaning that you can even use the text, not only the number. For example, here, let's say you want to use the conditional formatting to highlight the word food. Then I'm going to go ahead, conditional formatting, highlight, text that contains, then you're going to type the word that you want to highlight. That was food. And there you go. So food will be highlighted, right? But this is only few cells that we are using, but assuming you have like hundred thousands, and this is very useful skills. All right. So that was other examples on the conditional formatting. You have also, if you look at top and bottom rules, you have top 10 items that you can highlight. Doesn't have to be 10. You can always change the number, like top 5 or top 20. Okay. And top and bottom rule, you have percent as well. Top 10%. You also have a bottom. Okay, bottom 10%. Then you have above average, below average, so that you don't have to calculate average. Because the idea is just you want to highlight. Okay, highlight those items. Then you don't have to calculate, just click and then click OK. Then it'll highlight those numbers that above average. So those are the things you can do with conditional formatting. One more thing in conditional formatting is data bars. Data bars are just adding colors to uh, using data bars. You can add the numbers. Let's say I'm going to highlight again here. Then I'm going to go conditional formatting, data bars. Then you're going to give us some visual bars, like let's say I'm going to use the red. Then it'll give you the bar. So the larger the number, then the longer the bar will be. Okay, so that's the data bars. All right. So any question about sample question set 1?
I have a question.
Sure.
I've split screen, so I'm looking at the sample set questions, and I know number 2 says enter the data into the sheet as shown below. However, enter the numbers as randomly as possible. Do not copy the numbers, but instead enter random numbers.
Mm-hmm.
What, I don't see any data below number 2 besides like directions 3, 4, 5. So if this is how the test is lined up, like what does that refer to? Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, you don't have to worry about that. In the actual exam, I don't think I'm going to give you that kind of vague. But the idea was, once you enter any random numbers, for example, here, it doesn't have to be 3,000. It could be 1,000 all the way. And here too, you can just add any numbers you like in this area. That was the idea, so that you can add any numbers you like.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
I just
yeah, yeah.
wasn't 100%.
Right, that was the idea. But I
Okay.
don't think you're gonna have those kind of questions.
Okay.
However, other situation, not in this test, but like a test 2, test 3, I'm gonna ask you enter some random numbers using your student ID, using your, date of birth, because that makes it more numbers more flexible, because otherwise it will be all the same numbers for everybody. So I want numbers different for individuals. So sometimes I may ask those kind of setup. Any other
What-
questions?
What do you do if you don't remember your student ID? Like in
Uh,
a testing format, I wouldn't be able to go
well,
and find my student ID. I just make one up, or
what you can, you don't have ID. I'm a student ID. I'm sure you have student ID.
yeah, I mean, I've got a student ID, but I mean, I don't remember the numbers that it is. Are you talking about the number one or my actual like email?
Well, no, I'm not going to ask full numbers. You know, that's how things goes these days. Last 2 digit or last 3 digit. Or even though you do that, I don't think I'm going to check your ID. So you don't have to worry about. Any other questions?
I have one question.
Sure.
So the running total is going to be on the exam?
Running total, it is from this set or the other set?
It's on this one, the set one.
Is that right?
It's on question, well, on the 12th one or something.
Okay. All right.
Says, yeah.
Yeah, I think I didn't tell you then. Here we go. Running total. Sum of this one to that. Then I'm gonna enter
Quick analysis or no?
$sign. That's the one way to do it.
Okay. Oh.
So this is the running total. Sometimes they call it cumulative total. So what it'll do is just keep adding numbers. Okay.
Mhm.
For that, you're adding only this number. The next, you're adding those two. Next, which is third position, adding 3 above. Fourth, so at the bottom, you're going to adding entire numbers. So that's the idea of running total.
Okay.
I think
Thank you.
this is also from module 3, I believe. But if you see this, then it's going to be like an extra or bonus question because it's from module 3. All right. Any other questions? Anyway, I'm just switching view. This is the regular view or normal view, what we call. And this is the formula view so that you can see all the formulas in the sheets.
I have a question regarding the test.
Sure.
Will it be primarily application of Excel, or will there also be terms and definitions and those types of questions on the exam?
And just like the sample questions I'm showing right now.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. No multiple choices, no, no discussions. Just all hands on, just like assignment questions.
Will all the things of the that are on the workbook, will they be like generic or anything? Like just from what
You mean the data?
No, like the theme, like if like the facet theme to your workbook or something. Like, will it be like that, like on every Excel? Because some of them don't be on my Excel.
Oh, you're talking about
Like applying a theme to your workbook,
theme, this theme, right?
sir.
Are you looking at it?
Like, yeah, like any theme. Like, will it be like on any Excel spreadsheet? Like the
Yes.
one that you would apply on the exam.
Well, when you want to, that depending on when the original worksheet is consist of, okay, then may look different from what you had. For example, if you have a page layout theme, then you apply, then you may have a different color, different fonts, depending on what you choose.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sure. All right, anything else? Okay, let's look at the other one, which is, give me 1 second. Sample test 2. Right, almost same, but slightly different, you know. The way they ask and the way the data set is presented is a little bit different. So give me a second. There you go. Again, I just tried it myself based on the question. Okay, so starting from the top, just changing font, right? And applying others, like other formatting, bold. And row number 2, that's the margin center, right? So you highlight the area, then go to margin center. And then I think we have a unmerged somewhere, right? So that's, I think it was like a B. But anyway, this is the merged one. When you want to unmerge, all you do is go to merge and center. Then you just unmerge it so that you can put it back. And also formatting the date. That's under the number area. Under this number format, you have different date format, short date, long date. Right? If you want to look at further, then you go to more number format at the bottom. So you got all kinds of different dates here. And also other categories for format. Number, currency, counting, date, time, percentage, fractions, and all others. Okay, that's under right here, number format, more number formats. Okay, and I think there's some alignment and things like that, which is pretty simple to do. The main thing here is, again, percentage, right? So let me give you a formula view. Idea is column C. I think there's a typo that meant to have for column C, but not column B. I think it mentioned it column B in the actual test. I mean, actual sample test. But you need to enter the percentage in column C so that you can find percent of this each state number out of total application received. Okay. Okay. By the way, this is the number of application received each state, and B5 is the total number received entire US, which is 6797. So you take 79 for Alabama, then divide by B5, which is the total number, and you get the percent, right? Then you just apply increase or decrease depending on what you get. Okay, you may get so many decimal places, then you want to reduce. Otherwise, you can increase to 2 decimal places. And notice that I'm using $sign, right? That's the absolute cell reference. So that 6797, which is B5, doesn't change as you copy. Right? If you don't have, let me show you example. I think this is one of the very important concept in Excel for you to advance higher level. You need to understand this absolute cell reference using $sign, without restriction. It's very important. That's the difference. If you don't, let's say if you don't have $sign, then you apply B5. As you can see, you get all kinds of errors, right? Why you get errors? The reason is, if you look at the divisor in the second one, which is Alaska, C9, you have a B6 instead of B5, right? Next, you have B7, supposed to be B5, but it changed. Excel actually changed it to B7. That's how Excel is built in. It's kind of smarter way, so that it automatically changes to increase to next number, which is B7, B8, B9, B10. So to prevent that, we're going to enter $sign. So that we can make the number fixed. Then you'll have no errors for the percentage.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So is that the only way to do that? Is there another way to do that, or do we always have to type the $sign for it to stay that fixed amount?
Which is another way?
I was asking, is there another way?
If you do
Or is
it
that
another way, I don't know about another way, but if you don't put it, well, you can put B5 50 times, right?
right?
You
But
have
okay, I got
56.
you. I'll just type the $sign.
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
Well, you can do it, without it, as long as you got the right answer. But the idea is we trying to make it efficient, sheets.
Right. Thank you.
So, because we always assume there will be hundreds, thousands of cells. And if you're just doing manually 1,000 times, then that's no good. There's no reason you're going to use the Excel, right? So,
Thank you.
no problem. All right, so that was the percentage. And
I have a
then,
question on,
yes, sir.
when you did the autofill, how did you
Mm.
get it to select all the columns? You just drug it about 4 or 5. How did you get it to go all the way down to the 50th
All right.
state?
Depending on your machine, your Mac, I need to check, but I mean, those Mac people, you can confirm, but in Windows, if you move your mouse over right here, okay, see that this corner, double click, then Excel will autofill all the way down until you have the data, end of the data. So you don't have to scroll down like this, right? But you just stay on the first cell to autofill, then you double click right there. That's for Windows, okay? Mac machine, I cannot confirm. Or you can always scroll just like that. Scroll down and let it go, right? Anything else on column C? Column E was another calculation, but just find the difference, okay? Difference between total and percent population, percent of total, percent of population, okay? Well, it does make a really good sense, but this is just as an example, to calculate something, in this case, subtraction. So just subtract it, then you get the number, then you get 2 decimal places using increase or decrease decimals. Right? So that's the difference between those two numbers. Then another calculation, it's not really calculation, but another cumulative total, which will be equal sum of. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep adding column F, right? Starting from F8, then F8 to have it cumulative total in G8, then you add by itself, right? Then you'll get the number, but you want to make it first number, first term fixed by adding dollar sign. Okay, just like the other example. Right? Then next one will be appear right here in G9 will be equals sum F8 to F9. Next, sum of F8 to F10 and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to just autofill. There you go. Right? Any questions? I think that's pretty much it for example set 2. And conditional formatting again, I think I didn't cover it, but
I
conditional
do have
formatting.
one more question.
Sure.
What button are you clicking to show the formulas?
I'm doing in Excel, Windows, Control and tilde, that wave thing at the top, the left top corner at the same time. Control and wave, which is tilde, that's what we call in Windows.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And actually that's on the, where is that located? In view, formula view. The formula view is here, not here. There you go. On the formulas tab, show formula, same thing.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, anything else? So basically that's a good example of what you're gonna get. And always save your work as often as possible, right? Because so just changes are, well, hopefully it's not going to happen, but Excel may be frozen or anything. So just save your work every 10 minutes or so. All right. Any other questions other than these tests?
I have one more.
Sure.
How will we access the test? Is it going to be under modules test, and will there be a link?
Right. You'll be directed, so you don't have to worry about. You'll be directed by the proctor.
Okay.
The proctor knows what to do. So.
Okay.
Yeah. All you do is just log in, then talk to proctor, then proctor will help you out.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. All right, anything else? Anything else in like a module 3, module 4? And don't forget to check those video tutorials, announcement section, or just email me. Or if you need help, I can help you with video conference any way you like. All right.
Will we be able to see this recorded so we can look back at it, or no?
Yeah. Let me check. Hopefully the file is not too big, but I'm trying to. Will try to upload this.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay then. Well, if you have any other questions before the test, again, just contact me. All right. So if you don't have anything else, and I'll see you next time. All right.
All right, thank you
Okay.
so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good evening.
You too.